Hey guys, we have been asked recently about what's going on in Iceland, especially politics. Not a lot of news is coming out. Most of it talking about how the government resigned and what happened there. It hasn't been very clear though, but from my point of view, this has happened. October 29th last year, we had a election for Congress because our government had resigned. That was the Progressive Party and the Independence Party were together. The Prime Minister from the Progressive Party was found to have been involved in the Panama documents. He resigned, he claimed he wasn't resigning, but eventually resigned, and no one trusted them. We had demonstrations and people were generally not happy with what was going on. So they decided to call for election on the 29th of October 2016. Now it's 2017 and we have another election coming up on the Saturday of 28th of October. So it's a year that the government lasted. This government was formed with three parties, two right-wing parties and a middle party, and the middle party, called Björt Framtíð or Bright Future, broke off from the government, decided they did not want to stand by the government treaty in light of breach of trust. So in Iceland we have a process called exoneration. In that process, people can apply for exoneration if they've done time in jail. They can, if they have three important people in the community, sign off for them, then they can make the application. The Justice Department will take it into consideration and the President will sign it off. Just for a note, there has been a lot of flack going out to the President for this, and I think it is unfair because all presidents since we started the presidency have been signing off on these, and they do not see anything but the name of the person being exonerated and that this is a recommendation from the Justice Department. A lot of flack went to the President because he is signing off on them, but he doesn't investigate it. It's a Department of Justice that does and then recommends it to the President. The President is essentially is more of a token leader than anything else. His signature on this doesn't mean that he had anything to do with it. And this is something that people tend to not realize, and they tend to attack him instead of attacking those responsible. And those responsible were the Department of Justice. That was led by the Independence Party, and the Independence Party actually seemed to have known about it, that the Prime Minister's father was one of those who signed off of it. And so it came into light last couple of years that two pedophiles have been exonerated after horrible crimes. One of them was trying to get back his status as a lawyer and actually did. And it was very disturbing because he had been dealing with victims of child abuse. And this was something that got on the news and has been raising a lot of ruckus here in Iceland. The other one had been abusing his stepdaughter for 11 years. He got out of jail, he did not find any jobs, and so he talked to people he knew, and they signed off for him. One of those who signed off, and this is something that is very bad about the exoneration process, is that people who sign off on this, they do not have their names revealed. So if I commit a horrible crime and I want to get exonerated, three people have to sign off, but they can do it behind anonymity, and this means that they are essentially not accountable for their actions. They are just signing off saying this is okay, and because they are important they don't have to take responsibility, which is disturbing. But that's another matter. So what happened is that the media started asking difficult questions, and the Justice Department was talking about that they didn't have to reveal who was signing off on these exonerated people. But there is no law behind that, and never was. So this was more of a tradition than a law. And when they finally got a decision from, I think it was a court decision, that you could reveal the names of those who signed off, that's when the problems began, because the father of the Prime Minister was one of those who signed off the exonerated people. The Justice Department just seemed to clog up and would not reveal any information about any of those exonerated. And that got people asking difficult questions. And the thing is that the general consensus amongst reporters is that the whole top part of the Independence Party knew about this. Every member of parliament, the ministers, and especially the Prime Minister himself. And they have denied this, but the allegations seem to be founded in some truth. I don't know how many of them knew this, but many of them did. And they were effectively trying to hide this information. They finally got the information. This caused a lot of ruckus when they found out that the Prime Minister's father had done this, and he went on record to say that he regretted doing this, and I feel strongly about this. I'm sorry if that's coming through, but this was really a tough point, and I think it's a big, tough ethical point for Iceland. We're still in the infancy of being a democracy. 70 years, not a long time, I think, compared to other states. But this was something. But the big thing here, what broke the government and caused it to collapse, was that the secrecy, the level of secrecy, the thought that people did not deserve to know who is behind the exoneration, and that because it was the father of the Prime Minister, people thought that they were shielding them, all of them. And when this got through, well, when people found out about this, they were furious. And the party, the middle party, Bright Future, as they call themselves, they don't have a bright future right now. They actually stepped away from this. They said, we can't be in a government that works like that. There's a breach of trust, the public doesn't trust us, and so we're going to step down. And that was a good thing. This meant that the government was falling, and they tried to form another government with other parties, but no one wanted to touch the Independence Party at this point, as far as I know. So they had to go to the president and ask for a release of government, and this meant that the parliament was dissolved. Well, it's working still, but a new election is needed. And now, in 2 weeks' time, we're going to have an election here in Iceland, and this is the reason. We have a vote coming up in 2 weeks. Because I'm going to be away, I'm probably going to try to go today and vote. I'm going to see if I can find a place to vote on a Saturday in Iceland. Yeah, that's very weird for the Americans. But I should be able to vote this week. And I haven't decided what I'm going to vote. You probably, from listening to me, will hear that I won't be voting for the Progressive Party or the Independence Party. But at least I'm going to go out and vote. And that's something I think that all of Iceland needs to do, is just go out there and vote. Not necessarily any particular party. I can't recommend any parties at this point because I haven't decided myself, but they should go out and use the right to vote. I think that's the most important thing in democracy, is that you use your right to vote. The nation is supposed to make a decision. If you don't vote, then you're not a part of the decision, and you don't really have a right to criticize the nation for their choices, or the government, because you're not a part of the process. So be active and vote.